times. It doesn't seem anyone missed the turkey. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
For more information on the LA Conservation Corps, visit lacorps.org. While over in the San Fernando Valley, the spirit of giving was also in full swing as hundreds of families who are homeless enjoyed a Thanksgiving meal with all the fixins. Rasha Goel was there.
They can't go to the store and buy their own food like we can, so we help and give them the food we can get them.
At 9 years old, Max Romero is already learning the value of helping others. He's among the volunteers at the San Fernando Valley Rescue Mission's 17th annual Thanksgiving dinner held at the La Iglesia and El Camino Church in Van Nuys.
It's just people from the community, people who are experiencing hard times, people who are experiencing homelessness or food insecurity, and this is where they come to have Thanksgiving.
The San Fernando Valley Rescue Mission, newly refurbished after a fire 2 years ago, provides transitional housing with support services. After seeing a 30% increase in homelessness, they are stepping up the effort to provide relief. Over 300 volunteers, including kids ages 14 and up, helped prepare and serve meals to an expected crowd of 500. But this gathering is more than a Thanksgiving meal being passed out. It's a true communal setting, giving those in need an opportunity to embrace the holiday.
They're treated like kings and queens. They're our guests. They're a guest of honor tonight. And we wait in line to go get a plate and serve them.
It shows people coming together from the nonprofit community, the faith communities, our city family, and all throughout our neighborhoods in Los Angeles.
Just a little giving, going a long way.
It means a lot to me. It's very important because it gets all the people gathered together, you know.
In Van Nuys, I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
Heading to Boyle Heights, the LA Regional Food Bank hands out food to needy residents through its mobile food pantry once a month. But this holiday season, it will help 3 times as many people thanks to a local bank and the Give a Meal program. Anna Marco stops in for a recent food giveaway.
Yana, this is an eager crowd. The food delivery doesn't start till 9 in the morning, but many of these people line up at 4 or 5 in the morning. The need is so great. There are hundreds of people here, and the line just goes down the block.
A happy greeting from one of the many recipients grateful for the free food the mobile food pantry is handing out in Boyle Heights.
I'll take it if you don't want it. Thank you. Because I got vegetables, bread. Hardly ever get bread. Oh, I love it. I'm so happy because I got bread. And this time we got 2 bags of beans and stuff.
We have bread, we have chicken, yogurt, some grains, canned goods, and fruit like apples and pears.
No one seems to mind the long wait, and with 25 pounds of food at stake, well, some people get pretty creative with their mode of food transport. Industrial carts, baby buggies, big old grocery carts, borrowed of course, bags, boxes, laundry carts, even trash cans. Around here, anything goes.
No, está nuevo el bote.
This lady says the trash can is new, so it's okay, and it will fit a lot more food. All this cornucopia of plenty is getting tripled this month as the Bank of America teams up with the LA Regional Food Bank, which runs the food pantry, and the East LA Community Corporation, which hands out the food. B of A is giving the food giveaway more bang for its buck through the Give a Meal program. Every dollar you donate will be matched with $2 more from the bank, tripling the donation.
Usually $1 donated gives 4 meals. So actually we're able to now provide 12 meals for every dollar.
In LA County, there are 1.3 million people who suffer from hunger, and about 40% of them are children.
So they could come and get their food and just cook for Thanksgiving.
So you stock up for the month, huh?
Yeah, at least we don't have to spend money on chicken. We could do some chicken soup.
If you'd like to donate, visit www.bankofamerica.com/giving. Because a full baby buggy or cart
Bendiciones de corazón.
or a roomy garbage can beats going hungry anytime. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
This time, the mobile food pantry was able to help about 200 families with food. In Council District 1, it was all about the turkey as low-income families received everything they needed to prepare their Thanksgiving Day meal. It was a true community effort, bringing together the Office of Council District 1, the LA Fire Department, and local organizations in Pico Union to make sure everyone had a happy Thanksgiving.
Now more than ever, we see that families are barely trying to make their way back from the recession. The economy is doing way better, but some families, unfortunately, are still not. So for us to be able to provide the most necessary meal for Thanksgiving, a turkey, is an honor for us.
Turkeys were presented to 200 residents by an army of volunteers here at LAFD Fire Station 13.
I feel very happy to be able to help. They're going to have a big turkey and they're going to be able to enjoy it with their family.
Of course, Thanksgiving isn't just about the food that we eat. It's about so much more.
I'm grateful for a happy life and that my mom gives me a gift and takes care of me, and she loves me, she takes care of me, she makes me food. My whole family does that, and they always will be in my heart.
Turning now to another group that gives back to the community, the LAPD spends a lot of time reaching out to kids to help set them on the right track. As Gil Reyes reports, champions of community outreach were recently honored at a Tinseltown gala.
Thank you for every single person in law enforcement for what you do for us and our community every single day.
She plays forensic scientist Abby on the crime-fighting drama NCIS. But on this night, at this LAPD gala, actress Polly Perrette is honored for real for her charity work and outspoken support for the LAPD Hollywood division.
I studied sociology, psychology, and criminal science in college, and I wanted to be a cop. But something else happened, and now I have this great job. But I still continuously support my police and my law enforcement friends, especially our Hollywood division. We have, as far as community policing goes, it's a model for the rest of the country.
This past August, for example, Hollywood division officers took at-risk kids to go shopping for free school supplies. The Hollywood Police Activities League hosted the ceremony, honoring the best in community outreach. The league serves 600 kids every year. Proceeds from the dinner benefit youth programs. Also honored, Hollywood Division Sergeant Daryl Davis for his dedicated relationship building with area youth.
I coach when I'm away from the job. I coach baseball, I coach football, and the youth is everything for us. They're the up-and-comers. And if we're able to reach out to them and have it where they're able to bond and be part of us, you know, it's a great thing.
The hallmark of community policing. In Hollywood, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
LA City Fire Department Inspector Eugene Andrews was also honored with a Community Leadership Award. Andrews, who works closely with Hollywood officers, was on vacation and unable to attend. Well, it's the largest Native American event of its kind in the country. The 26th Annual American Indian Arts Marketplace brought the art of Native tribes from all over the country to Southern California. Anna Marcos takes us there.
If you ever imagined what it'd be like to stay in a teepee, here's your chance. Teepees, Kachina dolls, and all things Native American were on show at the annual American Indian Arts Marketplace at the Autry Museum of the American West.
Mainly I carve manzanita, and this one right here represents water is life.
The Autry's mission is to tell the diverse stories of the American West, and so we get to share culture and community with all of Southern California.
Visitors came to buy, to look, and to experience. And whether you were here for the artwork, the way of life, or the jewelry, you got the perspective of some 200 Native American artists representing 40 tribes across the country.
I'm Navajo, right? This is what we're known for, jewelry, making jewelry. This is an abstract mixed in with the wildlife as the subject matter, and I like my hummingbirds because it's a good luck.
I like people when they get excited when they see my wood carvings. That's kind of brightens up my day.
We heard there was even Indian fry bread, but if you missed it, there will be a chance to commune with the native spirits again next year. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
The event also included children's activities, Native American demonstrations, films, and a short play festival. Well, if your child likes to read, then you're one of the lucky ones. But many other kids may not like to read as much because they don't have access to books, especially since public library book budgets have been plummeting since 1989. But with November being National Family Literacy Month, one Los Angeles elementary school will be able to open a new chapter when it comes to reading. Rasha Goel has more.
Students at Wadsworth Elementary School can now experience the joy of reading at their school library thanks to Access Books, a nonprofit organization that refurbishes elementary school libraries in underserved communities at no cost to the school.
We're very excited, very thankful to Access Books for choosing our school to provide more resources in the form of books and library books in our school, and giving our library a nice, facelift, as you may have it. Yes.
Kids just need to be surrounded by good books because that's how you learn to read. The best predictor of how well you read is access to books.
And that's something many of these underserved communities are lacking and yearning for.
We didn't have a lot of books, and we're getting at least 1,000 new books for the kids to enjoy, new up-to-date books. We haven't bought any up-to-date books in a while, so they will love that.
Dozens of volunteers, teachers, parents, and kids, including former students, came to help out with book organizing and mural painting. Among them was Demarius Macias, a former student.
I would also kind of get bored because there wouldn't be new books that we could check out, and now I'm kind of happy because my brother comes to the school so he could check out new books.
I think it is important because sometimes when you go on the internet and you want to search up history, it's not always true, and in the books it's sometimes true.
Officials say at least 90% of the children served by Access Books live in poverty, and many have never owned a book. I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
Access Books has now refurbished over 300 school libraries. And in addition to books, libraries also offer a wide range of learning tools. One program at a city library allows you to check out not only books, but toys too, in one kit. As Gil Reyes reports, doubling the pleasure of learning.
No more monkeys jumping on the head.
Story time is just part of the fun for preschoolers at Panorama City Branch Library. There's also playtime, and when it's time to go, parents can now take home both in one package.
It's a plastic backpack, a clear plastic backpack that you can see through, and inside there is a toy and a related book. They encourage language-rich play between parents and children because the more words a child hears before starting kindergarten, the better prepared they are and the better they do in school.
Children's librarian Beth Gallego and co-workers at Panorama City Branch came up with the idea of literacy play kits. One book, for example, is entitled Stick. It's about a frog that gets stuck to a dragonfly, and together they travel to faraway places.
And the toy that's with those books are these blocks that have suction cups on them so that they actually stick together.
Back home, Alma Rodriguez and her daughter Yoltsin recreate the character's sticky situation with blocks, laughing, bonding, and talking about it.
With building blocks, if they're different colors, they can talk about this is a red block, this is a blue block, I have 3 red blocks. How many blocks do I have now? And they can count them, and they can do colors, and they can sort, and all of those basic concept activities.
Rodriguez says playing with reading is helping her daughter learn English.
I translated. I have to read it first in English, and then I'll translate it. So she's getting her vocabulary from there. It's pretty amazing, and I hope we could have more of these resources around.
Now, these play kits can be checked out for a week at a time, must be returned here to the circulation desk and not the book drop box. And please make sure you include all the pieces when you return them because the library will check. For now, happy reading and playing. From the Panorama City Branch, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Now, literacy play kits can be checked out at no cost if you have a library card. If you don't have one, get your card today to check out the kits and so much more. And those library kits are now available to more families as the program expands to other parts of the city. A scramble crosswalk installed a year ago gets positive results, while a new street light in another part of town helps improve safety for drivers and pedestrians. All these stories in City Beat. Library play kits are now also available at the Arroyo Seco Regional Branch, which recently debuted them during a sing-along story time. Just like the Panorama Branch, families can select from 100 circulating activity kits, each of which includes a book, related toys, and a list of suggested activities in a transparent, child-friendly backpack. The learning kits are designed to engage parents and their children in the 5 early literacy practices, like talking, reading, singing, writing, and playing.
All of those things are important markers of success.
The Office of Council District 13 and the Department of Transportation announced that the intersection of Hollywood and Highland, one of the city's busiest intersections, has seen significant safety benefits 1 year after the installation of a pedestrian safety improvement. LADOT says there have been 0 pedestrian collisions since a new scramble crosswalk was installed at the intersection. The special crossing system allows everyone to enter the roadway from each corner in all directions, including diagonally. Officials say the Hollywood Scramble has created a safer environment and has enhanced the pedestrian experience. Local students, community members, and LAPD recently gathered to celebrate the installation of a traffic signal along North Main and Seychelles Streets on the border of Lincoln Heights and Boyle Heights. From January 2010 through October 2016, there have been 4 pedestrian and bicyclist collisions along North Main Street. There are also several schools near the intersection, which is used by hundreds of students every day. Officials say that while the new signal will greatly improve public safety and traffic flow along this busy corridor, drivers and pedestrians still need to stay alert. Officers from the LAPD's Olympic Station presented 14-year-old Katie Amador with a new bicycle to replace the one that was stolen on her birthday in October. The officers took up a collection after the girl and her mother went to the station to report the crime.
And I got a new bike. I'm so happy.
Reaching the age of 90 is certainly something to be proud of. It's a milestone that deserves to be celebrated, and the city pulled out all the stops. Rasha Goel has more.
Whoopee! I woke up this morning and I'm praising the Lord.
Genevieve Flavian is 103 years old and one of the honorees at the city's Department of Recreation and Parks annual 90-plus Legacy Luncheon. When I asked her the secret to a long, happy life, she said,
"Enjoy life. That's what we're here, and share it to the best of your ability. Just be thankful that you're alive."
She's among the many seniors over the age of 90 being celebrated and honored. Like the other seniors here, she is a member of the Los Angeles Federation of Senior Citizens Club.
The function of the clubs is to create some inclusiveness throughout the seniors, a social kind of circle for them to have, trips that they can take on their own, events that they can plan at our centers, special events, dances. These are for seniors who want to remain active. They have a place they can go and socialize.
91-year-old John Mandich has been a member of the Senior Citizens Club for 25 years. Anyone age 50 and older can join.
What we enjoy most about it is the friendship with all the people that we meet there and people that we knew when we were youngsters and have grown up with them and through high school and so forth. And also, my wife loves the bingo.
There were 260 seniors over the age of 90 and 6 seniors over the age of 100 at this event. Now, age did not keep these seniors from having a good time.
The thing about it is you got to stay active, you got to keep doing things.
You used to be my honey. You spend up all my money. No use for...
A lot of the seniors are home, they have family, but they basically stay home. So this gets them out, they get dressed up for the event, they enjoy it, and when they leave, I've heard, "See you next year."
Well, I couldn't leave without getting advice from 100-year-old Betty and 102-year-old Maury Markoff, who have been married for 78 years.
Agree to disagree and forget it, because you can't resolve every problem. And so don't be hasty, don't do something you will regret later. Betty, turn away.
A little love and some laughter can go a long way. And these seniors once again prove that age is just a number. In Los Angeles, I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
If you love holiday lights, then you'll love watching them glow and sparkle on the LA Harbor waterfront. Find locally made arts and crafts at a unique crafts fair and grab your family and friends for an evening of skating in downtown LA. All this in this week's Things to Do. Los Angeles Harbor sparkles with holiday lights during the free and festive Holiday Afloat Parade. Officials and community leaders will take part in the parade as judges or passengers on approximately 60 boats parading along the LA waterfront. Participating vessels will be of all shapes and sizes, including powerboats, sailboats, tall ships, and harbor working craft. There are several viewing locations affording spectators unencumbered views of the elaborately decorated boats and the opportunity for friends and family to join in on the celebration. Check it out on Saturday, December 3rd at 6 p.m. at the Port of LA. For more, visit laharborholidaysafloat.org. Described as the largest Made in America shopping event in the country, the annual Unique USA Holiday Market features clothes, accessories, and art pieces from a number of quality handmade brands. Check out local products and rub elbows with the different designers and artists showcasing their work. Take a break with locally made food, plus free drinks, snacks, and photo booth portraits. It all takes place on Saturday, December 3rd and Sunday, December 4th at the California Market Center, located at 110 East 9th Street in downtown. For more, visit uniquemarkets.com. The annual LA Kings Holiday Ice brings outdoor ice skating to LA Live's Microsoft Square. Skate around the dazzling Christmas tree that stands in the middle of this outdoor rink and take in an LED holiday light show on the huge screens around the plaza. The ice rink is open through January 7th. It's located at 800 West Olympic Boulevard. For more info, visit lalive.com/events. And that's a look at some things to do. Well, that's going to do it for this edition. I'm Yana Kane from all of us here at LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacitv.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.
Hi, I'm Gil Reyes.
And I'm Rasha Goel. Welcome to another edition of Latitude, the latest in business and trade news from the Port of Los Angeles.
In this edition,
you'll find out why the latest state-of-the-art maritime vessel calling at the Port of LA is nicknamed the Hawaiian Hybrid.
Let's get started exploring this edition of Latitude.
The Port of Los Angeles has long been a focal point in maritime modernization. It's the first port in the world to plug a container vessel into shoreside power to reduce emissions at berth. The port is also home to the world's first hybrid electric tugboat. And now, the port is proud to harbor another maritime innovation. This time, a state-of-the-art vessel uniquely designed to meet the needs of shippers moving cargo to and from the Aloha State. Meet Pasha Hawaii's Marjorie C. Known in the maritime industry as a Conroe vessel, she can easily ship containers as well as large wheeled cargo, such as automobiles, trucks, and railroad cars. Bulkier items like helicopters and tanks can also be transported. This dual-purpose vessel is the only one of her kind running the route between the U.S. mainland and Hawaii, earning her the nickname the Hawaiian Hybrid. The Marjorie C has a container capacity of 1,400 and an automobile capacity of 1,200. Her oversized cargo deck has more than 100,000 square feet of space. Roll out the tape measure, and you'll find she's nearly 700 feet long and 100 feet wide, weighing in at 26,000 tons. Her stern ramp allows vehicles to be driven on board directly from the terminal and then retracts and is stored on the vessel while she is underway. With 2 onboard cranes, she is self-sufficient and capable of loading and discharging cargo at facilities where shore cranes are not available.
Now, the Marjorie C is the only Condro vessel here in the port. The containers are loaded on the top deck with the cranes, and then the rolling stock, the cars, are using ramp on the backside of the vessel to get in and out, and there is also possibility to load containers under deck.
The Marjorie C was commissioned and is now operated by an equally unique family-owned maritime company, Pasha Hawaii LLC.
It's unique that a family-owned company invests about $200 million in ship and venture into this market, and that says something for American entrepreneurism.
She was built 100% on United States soil, which makes her a Jones Act vessel flying under the U.S. flag.
Jones Act service, so that means that an American company with American-built ship and American crew can move cargo from one American port to another American port.
She was officially launched in Honolulu, Hawaii in August 2014 and is now in her first year of service. She is young, ingenious, resourceful, environmentally friendly, and quite beautiful, too. The Marjorie C is yet another example of the cutting-edge maritime technology shippers can resource at the Port of Los Angeles. The port is proud to be this Hawaiian hybrid's mainland port of call. Aloha.
Hi, I'm Gina Ray, and this is my dog Whippet. We're from Winnetka. Get it, girl. You're watching LA City View, Channel 35. This is our city and our channel.
and O'Farrell. Mr. Good morning. Shh. Good morning. I want to welcome you to City Hall, your City Hall. Today is Tuesday, November 29th. This council meets every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. The public is welcome. Madam Clerk, we have a quorum. Would you please call the roll?
Blumenfield, Bonin, Buscaino, Cedillo, Englander, Harris Dawson, Weezer, Koretz, Krikorian, Martinez, O'Farrell, Price, Rue Wesson. 12 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. First order of business.
Approval of the minutes.
Mr. Price moves and Mr. Koretz seconds. Next.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Mr. Koretz moves and Mr. Price seconds. That brings us where?
Mr. President, today is Tuesday and time for the flag salute.
Okay, today will be led by Mr. Mike Bonin.
Thank you, Mr. President. If everybody could join me, place your hands over your heart, your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's go through the agenda, Madam Clerk, and thank you, Mr. Bonin.
Mr. President, there are requests to continue item 11 to December 7th, and items 1D, I, Q, and T for 2 weeks to December 13th.
Okay, so without objection.
Additionally, the Department of Building and Safety recommends that the following items be received and filed. Items 1F, K, L, N, O, and S as the liens have been paid in full, and that the following lien amounts be reduced due to receipts of partial payment. 1A to $1,645.42, 1E to $776.99, and 1J to $4,361.51 due to department error.
Okay, so without objection, that will be the order. Continue.
Items 1 through 3 are items noticed for public hearing.
You have cards on these items?
Yes, cards on all 3 items.
Okay, then let's move on.
Items 4 through 15 are items for which public hearings have been held.
Specials members. Mr. Weezar?
15.
We'll hold item 15 for Mr. Weezar. Let's prepare to vote on the remaining items. Let us open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Continue.
Items 16 through 40 are items for which public hearings have not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Okay, so without objection, those items are now before this body. Do you have cards?
Yes, there are cards on items 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40.
Okay, let's hold those items, and we can now vote on the remaining items. And then I'm told to hold item 25 as well. So let's vote on the remaining items. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Mr. Weezar.
Number 34, forthwith, please.
Okay, without objection, that'll be the order. That brings us where?
Mr. President, item 41 is an item agendized for closed session. Do you wish to hold that on the desk?
I'm going to look to Mr. Krikorian, and welcome back, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Same to you. Item 41 was heard in Budget and Finance, and it will need to be heard in closed session.
Okay, so we'll hold that item. So that brings us where?
Mr. President, that takes council back to presentations or items called special.
Mr. Harris Dawson, are you ready with your presentation? Well, then the floor is yours.
You guys can all line up behind me.
You want to line up in a way so you're on TV, but they just took it off now. So there you go.
We're back on. We're hot.
That's how you know where to stand. Thank you, colleagues, this morning, and Mr. President, for giving us an opportunity to recognize National Youth Civic Engagement Month for the month of November. Councilmember Huizar and I are proud to honor a couple, three organizations that have, over the years, really dug in on youth civic engagement at a time when the public narrative about young people is that they're disaffected or not involved. We have literally hundreds and thousands of young people at various organizations here in Los Angeles doing the work of civic engagements. The three groups that we want to recognize today are Community Coalition, the National Foster Youth Institute, and Inner City Struggle. Community Coalition's youth group, South Central Youth Empowered Through Action, which you guys don't know this, but before you were born, I was a youth organizer with South Central Youth Empowered Through Action, works to get young people in South LA involved in the process. They knock on doors, they make telephone calls, they host town hall meetings of young people. And this year they did something very, very exciting. They were able to do something that I didn't know about that I guess is a new thing. They were able to pre-register 500 young people. That means young people that are 15 and 16 years old. They can register them now, and so that when they turn 18, they're automatically registered and they can go sign up to vote. This is in addition to being part of a statewide network that got young people involved all over the state of California. And our good friends at National Foster Youth Institute, many of you saw them going to town halls with us. There are many foster youth who also have experienced homelessness here in the city of Los Angeles. And so they went around and talked to people about HHH, the importance of having a home when you're growing up. I know Mr. Wesson, Mr. Huizar, many of us were able to meet some of them as we went around town talking, and they really were able to help move residents and neighborhood council leaders around the city. And so we want to recognize them as well. And I want to ask Mr. Huizar to come up and talk about one of my favorite groups in the city, Inner City Struggle, who's got a long history of involving young people in civic engagement.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, Councilmember Harris-Dawson, and thank you for bringing this presentation in a very timely manner, especially now in these volatile political times. It's even more important than ever that we recognize and encourage our youth to be engaged in our political decision-making process and to be organized for the future. And as somebody who has worked with Inner City Struggle back when I was on the school board, I'm really proud to see the work they have done to move not only the school district forward to be more inclusive of all students and to demand educational justice, but also in their work in the communities where they are active in the East Side, where they not only engage students but parents and build community leadership through the parents, teach parents how to be advocates for their children. And one of the things I'm most proud of working with Inner City Struggle was when I was on the school board, they, along with Community Coalition and a number of other organizations, helped push the district to adopt the A through G requirement that will allow more students to have access to the curriculum that is required to enter into a Cal State and UC system. This opened up boundless opportunities to students who otherwise wouldn't have these opportunities. And so Inner City Struggle should be commended for their work. I love the fact that when I first met them when I was on the school board, I walked into a meeting and they were talking to me about the many issues many of the students had to face at their schools at the time. And it reminded me of the time when I was a student at UC Berkeley and us advocating for more access and financial aid and equity in that system. And what I liked about that moment was that we brought the conversation there to the school board and the school district to put in the language of educational justice and equity and making sure that more students got the education they deserve. So I'm very proud of the work they've done, and they've partnered with a number of other organizations to do the work they do. We want to commend them as well. At this time, I want to turn it over to Henry Perez, who's the Associate Director, and Gypsy Alvarado, Civic Engagement Coordinator for ICS. Please welcome them. Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Henry Perez, and I am the Associate Director of Inner City Struggle. I would like to thank you all, and in particular, Council Members Huizar and Harris Dawson for this recognition. As Council Member Huizar mentioned, Inner City Struggle engages youth and families from the east side of Los Angeles. We outreach to youth and families and develop their leadership so that they can fight for public education reform in LA Unified School District. We believe that a big part of the leadership development of our youth is to educate and train them to be civically engaged. Our goal is to register as many youth as possible to vote, and also to encourage as many youth as possible to exercise that right to vote. We know that voting patterns start very early, very young, and we want to make sure that the youth in all throughout the country, but in particular in our area of Los Angeles, the east side, are voting at a high propensity rate. We also want to train them so that they can then outreach to their own peers and encourage them to register and vote as well. With that said, I want to introduce someone who started with us at a very young age, at about 17, 18 years old, and now she is a leader of our civic engagement efforts at Inner City Struggle. I want to present Gypsy Alvarado.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me here. Like he said, my name's Gypsy Alvarado, and now I'm the Civic Engagement Coordinator at Inner City Struggle. I'm very excited to be here because as an at-risk youth, I had many challenges that I had to overcome. And with the help of my involvement in Inner City Struggle, there was a lot of youth leadership development that I experienced and that I had grown. And with that leadership development, now I'm able to do more leadership development with the community in the East Side, and I'm very, very excited to be part of the organization and to make sure that right now, since it's right now is a very critical time, that we get our youth empowered, we educate them, and we make sure that they don't only exercise their right to vote, but they educate their peers as well. So I'm very, very excited to be here, and I'm so grateful to get this recognition, and just know that Inner City Struggle will be here in the East Side to make sure that we educate, empower all of our youth and our parents as well. Thank you so much.
You know what, Miss Alvarado? You are a perfect example why we should invest more in our young people, because I have a feeling that you're going to do a lot of great things for this city. And again, you are an example as to the return that we get when we invest in our young people. Proud of you.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Now we have a speaker from the National Foster Youth Institute, and it'll be followed by a speaker from Community Coalition. We were really, really proud of National Foster Youth Institute over this past election cycle. One of the foster youth who's not here today, Mr. Bonin, called me very excited one night, late at night, and he said, I just left the Brentwood Homeowners Association. I got them to fully endorse HHH with a unanimous vote. And so he was very, very excited. Today we have Dietrich Foley from National Foster Youth Institute.
My name is Dietrich Foley, and I'm from the National Foster Youth Institute, a part of the Homelessness Action Committee. We started that Homelessness Action Committee about 4 or 5 months ago, and when it first started, we didn't really think we could do it, but as we went along and we got to really get to know Marquise and Rachel, we got the support that we needed to throw a very successful speak out. And the fact that you guys allowed us to do that gave us so much hope that not only was the speak out great, but you guys also inspired us to want to do more. But being foster youth, we feel like we didn't really have a voice until you guys gave us this. So the reason why we focus so much on this is because we were former homelessness that were in foster youth. And, we made it through, but not everybody can do that. So we need to be the voice for all those other foster youth. So the fact that you guys allowed us to do that not only says that you guys are amazing people at heart, but it also says that you guys believe in us too. So from behalf of the NFYI Homelessness Action Committee, we thank you for everything that you guys have done. Thank you.
We thank you. We thank you, and we believe in you.
Thank you so much. And representing Community Coalition South Central Youth Empowered Through Action, we have Takora Haslam.
Hello, my name is Takara Haslam, and I'm with Community Coalition. We would like to thank you guys for all of your support. For the past couple of Saturdays leading up to the election, we've been door knocking and letting people know about the propositions that were going to be on the ballot. In addition to that, we also registered 500 youth, pre-registered and registered 500 youth to be able to vote, and we would just like to thank you guys for all your support.
Thank you all so much, and to all of you, all three organizations, on behalf of the entire City Council, the Mayor, and the entire City of Los Angeles, we want to appreciate you and honor you in recognition of National Youth Civic Engagement Month. Thank you all so much. Let's give them a big round of applause. Oh, they're getting a selfie.
Okay, let's it's my understanding we need to vote for reconsideration on item number 26. So let's vote on reconsideration. Madam Clerk, please open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Okay, and we'll just hold that for a bit. Okay, now I want to call up for comment, general public comment, and multiple comment. Mr. Previn. Mr. Previn, you are on items 3, 20, 21, 28, 29, 30, 31, 36, 37, and 38, and 39.
Thank you, sir. It is a busy day today at City Hall, so thank you for that. I guess we'll hear about the closed session 41 later after the closed session. Item number 39, the great council district member from the 5th District, Mr. Koretz, is asserting jurisdiction. So this is in connection with his Being More Assertive program. It's for an HPOZ in his district. I believe it was the HPOZ means Historic Preservation Overlay Zone, and this is for the Carthay Square Preservation Plan. So it's that group, and they've done a very nice job, I assume. Item number 38, we have Mr. Englander and Mr. Cedillo working together to provide the Jewish Educational Trade School out in Rinaldi and Granada Hills with some bond funding, $35 million, through a group that sounds like California Municipal Finance Authority. It sounds like a state operation. It's actually a for-profit business, but their deal is they get a good bond and they give back some of the profit to the not-for-profits. So it's a nice group to work with for guys like you, and presumably they're not making false estimations about how good things are going, although it does look a little tricky. 36 is Reef. There's no crowd today, but people are very opposed to this project in Mr. Price's district, and there are some people who are for it, but it is a big, nasty one, and if there are people here, they could sign my petition because I'm running for mayor, so that's interesting. Item number 31, sir, you are fortunately bringing together an immigrant affairs ad hoc committee because we don't have enough politicians stepping up and speaking out in defense of our community. So thank you for doing that, and we will look forward to that meeting outside of the view of the public because it's not necessary, but there will be opportunities to bang the drum, as we say. Item number 29, here we have the beginning of the CD7 Cavalcade of Love. The Council President Wesson is bringing forward, I believe it's $15,000 from the Lopez Canyon landfill for a parade. They do not have representation. Fuentes left to work for the Apex lobbyists in Sacramento. But fortunately at there's another item where there is a $695 dinner that we're also picking up in CD7. So this is another gesture to the people of CD7 while the bullet train comes right up the old Buscaino. We are in difficult trouble there, sir. They need representation, so I would ask you to please bring that forward. Item number, Taste of Soul, is number 30, sir. This is where CD10 is looking after CD10 once again. After defunding to the tune of $15,000, Mr. Taste of Soul, Mr. Bakewell, earlier in the year, we are circling back for an $80,000 Howdy Doody for Mothers in Action, which is one of the fundraisers that he's affiliated. In fact, he is the guy who runs that fundraiser. So on top of the $100,000 county donation from Mark Ridley Thomas, which buys a media plan, including editorials and all sorts of stuff that you would think is unbuyable because aren't they a journalist operation? Aren't these the people who smeared the puppet and various others? I don't know. This smells to high heaven, sir, if I may, in the nicest way.
Okay, let's give him his 1 minute for general public.
Do you want the item 28 comment?
No, you're out of time.
Well, even though I'm out of time, sir, I will find a way to say thank you and to get into my final public comment, which I have to say, without banging the drum repetitively, CD7 is a district. They all have constituents, and all the districts. And there are 250,000 in that district. And it just seems so unfair that every day, today 60 or something items come by, and there is not a person who is looking out for them. When you see one of these council members like Mr. Rue or Mr. O'Farrell or Mr. Koretz scurrying around to help, or Mr. Bonin or even Buscaino, helping Mr. Englander, who I cited publicly as a great service provider, and then they have nobody. I mean, to me, this is an abnegation. This is a violation. That's why I ask you and Mayor Garcetti to link closely and together with the council's vote, approve an actual constituent voting member for CD7. It's the right thing to do. Taxation with representation, sir, not without representation. And that is why it's the right thing to do, and you should simply do it. We can move forward.
Thank you. I'd like to call Jacqueline Richardson. Ms. Richardson? Followed by Heidi Fieldstein.
Good morning, President Weston and Councilmember Koretz and distinguished members of the City Council. Thank you for giving us a moment. I am a resident of Carthay Square who purchased my property on November 7th, 2015. I've had passed on a property in South Carthay due to the strictness of the HPOZ there. As I get older, I get very concerned about things like drafty windows, particularly in my bedroom. I reviewed what was at the time represented to me to be the HPOZ plan for Carthay Square. It's 3 pages long, and you each should have a copy of it. I purchased my property on the basis of this plan. It was the only plan in existence. I have come to understand that between November 2015, when I purchased my property, and June 2016, when there was a public hearing held, the HPOZ Commission and a small group of my neighbors produced something that looked like this, a 73-page plan that had all kinds of restrictions and limitations never presented to the community, never voted upon by the neighbors.
Thank you. Thank you. If I can get Ms. Richardson. Followed by Ember Knight.
Michael gave out between $300 and $400 to any prisoner at the Sheriff's Department who said they got beat up. This was for prisoner reform. The money came from Baca's campaign reelection fund. It was probably an exaggeration, but many prisoners say they got beat up so they could get the $300 to $400. That was probably a great exaggeration. Michael has receipts from the campaign reelection fund for Baca and also from the prisoners. Neither Baca nor his men knew of the prison reform going on, nor did the FBI. Baca was greatly misunderstood. He needs $20 million for misunderstanding his efforts. He's an excellent man. He knew nothing about the prisoner reform, nor did the FBI nor his men. So when all that tumult started, he was totally innocent of it. When he said he didn't know what it was about, he told the absolute truth. He knew nothing about it.
Thank you. So do we have Ms. Knight? Please come forward.
Good morning. My name is Ember Knight. As some of you know, I am running for King of LA. Today, I have to go back to work at the strip club because I did not find work this month. I feel not good, and I am upset about it. But it means a lot to me that I'm still able to come and speak at City Hall, even though I only have $4 in the bank. And I can say whatever I want to say, and it makes me feel like I'm a part of this city and that I have a voice. And so thank you so much for providing this service and for listening, even when people say crazy things. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to jump out of the public comment and go to item 15. Mr. Huizar.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I just wanted to flag this item since we've reached a very important milestone in what will be a transportation project that will link our regional transit system with destinations downtown. We are approving today the environmental impact report for the streetcar that we've been working on for a very long time in downtown LA. Lots of work was put into this. I want to thank particularly the Bureau of Engineering under Gary Lee Moore's leadership, the Salida Reynolds from LA DOT, our partners at Metro, and the nonprofit LA Streetcar Inc., who really, this project wouldn't be happening without their support. The environmental impact report highlights a number of issues that will not only improve the transportation for downtown, but also help the area economically. Several alternatives are in there in terms of the path, but overall, this is a very important milestone for improving the transportation options for all of us here in downtown and beyond. So, colleagues, ask for your support. Thank you.
Okay, on this item, let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Let's take up item 25. So this first vote is on substituting. So let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Now we'll actually vote on the item. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Mr. Cedillo, Gilbert, Mr. Cedillo, I understand we have some special guests, and I'd like for you to acknowledge them if you would.
Who's got my notes? Academy of Science and Arts. Where are they? No notes, nothing in writing? Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So we have this charter school, New Academy of Arts and Science, kindergarten through 5th grade. Great kids, super smart. I have them here, but as you know, I've got a little First Amendment public comment concern, so I don't want them to be terrified by their first visit to government. So they're here. We're going to have them stand up and be acknowledged from my district, CD1.
Ask him who wants to be president. Like everyone in that crowd wants to be president.
Say how, look at that work, man.
Now, how many? I want to know how many want to be president. Everybody wants to be president from the school. So let me know who you are. Huh? Look at them, see? They're thinking about the future. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, welcome, kids. Keep waving. You're on television. Okay, now I'd like to call up Mr. Walsh, Mr. John Walsh. You have your items 2, 3, 19, 21, 31, 32. And when you finish with those, your general public comment. Mr. Walsh, the floor is yours.
John Walsh, blogging at HollywoodHighlands.org, tweeting at Hollywood Dems. You can pick up all the information on our website, J. Walsh Confidential. Okay, number 2, this is gang reduction. You're doing a wonderful job. Everybody in America knows that the gangs run this city. They've got so much dirt on the mayor that the mayor doesn't do a darn thing about the gangs. T-shaped alley west of Figueroa Street between Florence and Avenue. Okay, when that neighborhood was predominantly black, you did nothing. Once the neighborhood turned Hispanic, now you're doing something to fight, keep the gangs in check. Remember, the gangs must be kept east of La Brea, away from the Jewish neighborhood. Wherever you want to put them in the Hispanic and black neighborhood, that's fine. We Jews don't want them in our neighborhood, and your job is to please us. Next is number 19. And number 19 is towing service to serve the official police garage. You want to know how to get a contract to run the official police garage, which is a license to print money? Yeah, you'll find out. And the LA Times knows, but they're not saying a darn word about any of what's going on there. Number 21, that is redevelopment agency. You know, when I first showed up at a meeting, it was in 1973, and I said, I will bury the CRA. That was in Northern California. They laughed at me. The CRA has been buried. It's buried. It doesn't exist anymore. Please don't think we're just playing with ourselves up here. What we are doing is destroying phony government. That's what we did, and we were very, very successful. Number 31, the CRA doesn't exist. You've been taking it apart. Okay, creating an ad hoc committee on immigrant affairs. We don't need another ad hoc committee on immigrant affairs. They use the word immigrant so that they can put in a few people who aren't black and who aren't Hispanic, 1 or 2 immigrants from Philippines or someplace. But it's a phony. They don't tell you how much money it is. David Rue is hooked into this. This is $3.5 million. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Walsh. Now let's give him his general public comment. Oh, and Mr. Walsh, thank you while the children were here. Go right ahead.
Okay, Neighborhood Integrity Initiative. That's what's going to be on the ballot in March. It freezes construction in the city for 2 years to see what happens. You know, 3 into 2 won't go. You just cannot keep adding buildings. And on my Jewish friends, as you know, they're starting to build in your neighborhood. And once they start building in the Jew neighborhood, that's when it stops, because you're not building in our neighborhood. Take it out on the blacks, take it out on the Hispanics, not on the Jews, because we control the money, which means we control all of you. We're going to win. I want you, the Neighborhood Integrity Initiative is going to win the election. Zumadov is running for mayor. A lot of people are running for mayor, and we're running a candidate against Mitch O'Farrell. And we are going to have an enormous election in March, and we're going to throw some of you out.
Thank you, sir. Okay, I'm going to go back to the agenda. We're going to take item 2, Madam Clerk, and Mr. City Attorney. I'm going to close the public comment on that, and we'll continue that for 60 days to January 27th, okay? Okay, now I didn't recognize him, but I do now. I want to call up Zuma Dog. Zuma Dog, you're being called up. And these are your items. Items 1, I'm sorry to interrupt your conversation. Items 1, 3, 18, 31, and 40. And after that, then you go into your general public comment. Good to see you.
Thank you, you too, Herb, and thank you for the kiosk. Amazing. Welcome to the 90s. Okay, so first of all, my name's Zuma Dog, and I'm going to be running for mayor of Los Angeles if I get on the ballot. So I'll be addressing as such. That's how come I'm dressed this way and all clean-shaven. Hi, Paul. Okay, so I'm going to try to go over all these issues quickly, all into one. Now, a lot of it is about affordable housing we have on there and track maps relating to housing, and I'd like to address all of that fits under that. I think Mike Bonin has great intent and heart toward the issue, and I think everybody realizes it's such a crisis now. But we need to be very pragmatic. The Triple H thing, it's a drip in the bucket. It's not going to be able to stop anything from getting worse. It's going to take years if it even happens the way it does. Can't even get lockers set up. So, again, I admire the effort, but it's not serious. It's not real. So to really address it, I've spoken here before council again, and Mike, I'm going to say it again, affordable homes for you. I've got no interest in this company. I just see things the way I see them, and I'm going to be running for mayor on the platform. There's places in the city, and not all the affordable housing has to be in Venice. It seems like it's all targeted there. It could be anywhere in the city just because they're at Venice. We could have these units in parking areas and properties of the city. They could be stacked 1,000 at a time. And it's also the types of units that the people on the street like. Nice and convenient, easy, you know. I hope the city could revisit this more. And if you go to LAMayor2017.com, you can look at the video from the company with testimonials. So thank you for appreciating that spirit in which it's intended. Now, regarding the 16, the immigration group that you're going to put together, one thing I think the city needs to be sensitive of, I'm concerned when Eric Garcetti is out there saying that if he doesn't like what Trump does, we're going to act up and act out, and hey, stick at you, Donald Trump. You know, listen, don't piss off the president, please, because the city relies on that federal money for things needed. You're just hurting the people. I know that Trump's a negotiator, and I do not think that he's going to go as far as what he said, and it's not even possible, and I don't support that. But the city should start to think of things they could do to maybe do something so you don't lose the federal money. Put something out there. Do some negotiating with the White House, and don't go out there purposely trying to piss them off. And I'd like to say the city is still too focused on luxury condos and not real affordable housing. Thank you.
Thank you, and good luck to you.
Now the 1-minute public comment, right?
Let's give him his 1 minute.
Yes, hello, my name's Zuma Dog, and you can go to LAMayor2017.com for things that I feel are important in the city. Right now, I'd like to say, please free Kanye, bro. LAPD's got him on an Illuminati hold, bro. Look what happens. He goes out and talks bad. He talks pro-Trump. He gets locked up, bro. Now, he was under sleep deprivation. Zuma Dog's familiar with 3-day holds for sleep deprivation. He's still under hold. What is he, Rip Van Winkle? Something's going on, bro. What's going on with Kanye locked up, bro? I will say he was against Drake over Airplay, so you got to remember he's still lucid of the mind. Now, secondly, I'd like to say the city, please, the affordable housing thing, don't just sit back and say Triple H and you've done your jobs, because the people are going to see the truth and reality right out there. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to jump out of the public comment. I'm going to go to item 39. I want to ask Heidi to come back. And that's because that was my mistake. I called you out of turn. Now we're on item 39. And I know that was the only card you wanted to speak on. That was my mistake. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, President Wesson, and a particular thanks to Council Member Koretz for giving me the opportunity to address the chamber again. I will try to be very brief. The primary reason I'm here is I'm a recently purchased homeowner who bought on the basis of a 3-page HPOZ plan. I'm not the only one. There is another homeowner here today on the same basis. This was the plan that was being handed out in the neighborhood as what we would be subject to. I did not receive notice of a June hearing. I know that what's before the council today is the council members' motion to withdraw and send back to Plums this plan for certain amendments. I am hoping that Council Member Koretz will come back to those of us who, in effect, were surprised, really taken by surprise by the length and breadth and extent of this plan, and will give us an opportunity to bring it back to some of the basic principles that were embodied in the plan as we knew it when we bought.
Thank you.
I wanted to thank him
Thank
for trying
you.
to bring the community
Thank
together
you.
on this point.
If I could get Miriam Summers, Henry Van Moylan. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, I'm a property owner in the Carthay Square area, and have my property has
You
been
can
owned.
pull it down.
I've owned the property since 1967, which is almost 50 years. While the preservation of some historical buildings in Los Angeles is a noble cause for cultural intent that reflects the architectural splendor of the city's past, it appears that the city has undertaken an agenda affecting residential neighborhoods all over Los Angeles by growing an office of historic preservation, whose mission is to create a preservation program making private property owners subservient by their ownership to what it has created, HPOZs. The property owner is compelled to comply to a controlling HPOZ board. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir. And then we're going to get Letitia Castaneda and Simon DeBois. Yes, sir.
My name is Henry Van Moyland. I'm speaking out against the Carthay Square HPOZ. This is another HPOZ where the draft preservation plan continues to market design guidelines that have nothing to do with preservation and instead promote an aesthetic which is at least a generation out of date. It's expensive for homeowners, and it will result in bland and ugly architecture. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, President Wesson. Thanks for your time. Please accept the 3-page proposed Carthay Square interim plan.
Simon?
I'm sorry?
You're Simon?
Yes, I'm Simon. My name is Simon DeBose.
ahead.
I live in Carthay Square. I am a father of one, and I have a girl on the way. I'm very happy, and I am also terrified. But thank you for your time. Councilmember Koretz, I want to talk about the proposed HPOZ plan that I got last year when I bought my house. It was 3 pages, has become 73 pages. On summer, I'm just going to talk about one issue. I know I have a very limited time. During summer, I pay $600 a month to keep my place mildly cool, right? I got the AC running all the time. It's an old house, bad insulation. If this goes through, I will not be able to change my windows to double-paned windows, to energy-efficient windows, and save money on electricity, reduce my carbon footprint.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so do we have Letitia? Letitia Castaneda? Okay, let's prepare then to vote on this item. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 eyes.
Okay, Mr. Spindler. And you're on items 1J, 16, 18B, 48.
Okay, good. Where did all the kids go? So, now, when the kids were here, they can see about liens. Liens are the devil. And we know that liens have to be forgiven, but we have the CD8 lien forgiveness program. It's still in effect. So, you look at item number Q, 9713 South Decker Avenue. Come on up, we will forgive your lien. And then 10300 South Main Street, we will forgive your lien. Thank you, Marquise Harris Dawson, for this opportunity to forgive. Now we have a bunch of other things which, for the most part, are just puppet work. We have the rent control REAP. This is where you pay your rent. But as John Walsh says, when you do something good, even puppets compliment you. And the puppet says good. And the puppet is very happy that these owners now will have the money directly in their bank accounts again. Give them a hand. Yes, give them a hand, because these are good property owners now. They used to be bad. Now they got good. So that's why we're going to have good property owners. And then, of course, everybody's favorite is the Shasta County Sheriff versus the City of Los Angeles. Now you go all the way up to Shasta County, and now the sheriff has to sue the city. What happened? Well, it's very simple. A couple of councilmen took some horses from Charlie Beck and rode all the way up to Shasta County and attempted to take over. But the Shasta County Sheriff put you in your place. And now
Okay, you got to go to the public hearing has been satisfied on that, Mr. Spindler.
Okay.
And you know that, so go to an item where it
I
hasn't.
didn't know, because
Just stay on, get another item.
because I know it was in Polk Recordians Committee.
Get another item.
Okay, so now we have improvement associations for Christmas scholarship dinners. Now, what do we eat for dinner when Christmas comes? Stay away from the pork. No eating pork on Christmas. Pigs are intelligent. Go to YouTube and see that most pigs are intelligent beings.
Madam Clerk, give him his 1 minute for public comment, general public comment.
So, now, vote Zuma Dog for mayor. Zuma Dog is running for mayor. Yes, not a man, but a machine, an animal that will change the city. And thank God somebody's running against Mitch O'Farrell. Anybody but O'Farrell. Vote for this puppet. This puppet would be way better than Mitch O'Farrell. Mitch O'Farrell has sold all of CD13, all of Hollywood, to every developer. We got a couple of them here today. These developers are actually good guys, because to my knowledge, they don't have assassins on the payroll, huh? Yeah. So, finally, on a serious note, one of our councilwomen suffered a loss. And for that, we wish her the best.
Your time is
Thank you.
expired. We have one of our MTA commissioners, Jackie DuPont Walker, with us today. Hello, Jackie. Give Jackie a round of applause. She works hard for the city of L.A. Mr. Pena, Omar Pena, please come up, sir. So you can speak on items, hear me now, 1A, 18B, 35, 38, and 40A, and then you get your general public comment.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time. An unorthodox issuance and suspiciously lengthily enforced Los Angeles Fire Department Station 11 condemnation red tag invariably, forcibly, constructively evicted myself and my pets from our HPOZ single-family dwelling, rendering us homeless. Despite verified proof that I had contacted LAFD's code enforcement unit with a Los Angeles Municipal Code inquiry 9 months prior to July 2013 5-alarm blaze at my home, it otherwise was being abusively utilized as a LAMC non-fire code compliant 11-unit multiplex by way of LADBS and LAFD municipal loophole condonements and entitlements for a non-residential non-owner. This is generally considered illegal, federally illegal. The mayor's and city attorneys' administrations have absconded from accountability despite my providing 11 months advance notice of on-premises criminality to LA Police Department Rampart, LA Housing Department, LA Department of Building and Safety, Ms. Molina, and Mr. Reyes. Multiple California Superior Judiciary's courtrooms have been perjured. Accountability had been and continues to be
now you have to go to another item.
While my attackers
Mr.
are still
Pena,
at
now
large.
you have to go to another item.
Yes, sir. My concern is that a course of non-traditional and off-the-record lobbying upon the administrative body could very well be beginning to adversely impact other traditional, long-standing residents, primarily susceptible to the utilization of racially and socioeconomically bigoted Homeland Security policies in the hands of uneducated municipal emergency.
Mr. City
I don't
Attorney.
think the speaker is addressing any of the items now, Mr. President.
Okay, Mr. Pena, thank you. You have to stay on the items, and you Mr. Pena, thank you. Your time has expired. Thank you. Your time has expired. Thank you. Your time has expired. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now you're disrupting this meeting, but thank you for coming. No, you're disrupting the meeting. Please take a seat. No, you're disrupting the meeting and you're listening to him. That's your first mistake. Okay? Sergeants, if he doesn't behave himself, he needs to be escorted outside. Okay, so that concludes our multiple items and also general public comment. So that's closed, Mr. City Attorney. We'll go now to item. Let's vote on items 1 and items 3. Let's open the roll.
And Mr. President, prior to voting on item 1, there are requests to continue 1G, H, J, M, and P to December 13th.
Okay, thank you for that. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Let's go to item 16. Now we'll vote on 16, 18, 19, 20, and 21. Let's open the roll. Okay, I'm so sorry. Want me to do it again? 16, 18, 19, 20, and 21. Let's open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Okay, now if we can move to items 26, 28, 29, and 30. Okay, on item 26, there's an amending motion. Why don't we separate that out, and we'll vote on 28, 29, and 30. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Okay, Madam Clerk, on item 26.
An amending motion has been posted and circulated.
So let's vote on that item as amended. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Okay, let's move on to items 31, 32, and 34. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
36, 37, 38, and 39. Are you ready, Madam Clerk? Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
That brings us where? Mr. Price?
Mr. President, 36 forthwith, please.
36 forthwith per Mr. Price. That leads us where, Madam Clerk?
I believe that brings us to 41 for closed session.
Okay, sergeants, we're going to move into closed session. If we could please clear the chambers, we're going to move into closed session at this time. Mr. Krikorian?
Consider item 40 before we go into closed session. Is that possible?
Okay, could everybody hold on? We're going to go to item
40D.
40. Let's go to item 40D. Okay, let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Okay, now, sergeants, you can...
Mr. President, I'd ask that that be sent urgent forthwith.
Urgent forthwith. Then let's vote on that, Mr. Krikorian. We're voting on urgent forthwith. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Okay. let's okay. Mr. City Attorney, we're back.
Yes, and
Do you have an announcement to make?
Just for the record, there was no final action, nothing to report.
Okay. That leaves us with item 35, I believe.
Correct.
Let's vote on that item. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
That brings us where, Madam Clerk?
Council has motions for posting and referral.
They are posted and referred. Announcements. Mr. Cedillo.
I ask that we move forth with 32, 33, and 35.
Without objection.
Thank you.
Okay, members' announcements. Then let's all rise for adjourning motions. If we could all rise. I'm looking to my left. I said I'm looking to my left. I was looking at my right. Anyway, now I am looking at to my left. Mr. Buscaino.
One of those days.
It's one of those.
Colleagues, I ask that we adjourn in memory of Frida King Fisher, born on September 22nd, 1952 in Watts, son of Ron Fisher, who works for a colleague of ours, Supervisor Mark Ridley Thomas. She was one of three children, a twin to her brother Fred. She attended Compton High School and proceeded to graduate from Compton Community College in 1973. She had an amazing giving heart, frequently volunteered at voting booths to play her part in getting her community more civically engaged. Frida made sure that the homeless men living on the roadway behind the Compton Boulevard were never forgotten. She knew them all by first name and offered them snacks every Christmas and Father's Day. She made sure that the women working at her local post office received a gift each Valentine's Day. She passed away on November 9th and is outlived by her son, Ron Fisher, her twin brother, 2 nieces, stepdaughter, 4 grandchildren, 3 godchildren, 5 aunts, 2 uncles, 3 great-nephews, and a host of extended family members. We offer our sincere condolences to Ron and his family during this difficult time. May Frida Kingfisher rest in peace. Thank you.
I want to ask Mr. Rue to speak. Didn't you work with him?
Ron Fisher was our colleague in Supervisor Von Burke's office. If I could join in on that. And
So let's make that a 2 signature, at least, for you and Mr. Rue. Okay, I'm continuing to look to my left. Any other adjournings left? Now I'm looking to the right. I don't see any. Members, this meeting is adjourned.